Alright, future update ideas for Anime Adventures Part 3. Let's go. Okay, so before starting, heads up, I did use some of the older ones for mostly part 2 just because some of them were just really good and I want them to add it. But here are just my ideas and what I think. Some of them might be outrageous, but I do think some of these are actually like reasonable to add. And since of the new updates that come out, like events, missions, etc., they're actually moving out to more unique mechanics, which is really cool. I respect that. But besides that, let's get started. So the first thing is, of course, one of the older ones, multi-capsule open, either a passive or a game pass, times 10 times 100. If it's like a game pass, maybe don't make it too much, like 100 robux, something that can fit my range of robux, since I don't really want to sit there opening capsule one by one, but it is what it is. Second up, we have this kind of like a similar to capsules, but for summons, summon passive or game pass times 10 times 100. Either one of those would really be useful for updates, but if you want to just lengthen out, like for people not to get the units immediately, then I guess that's what they're going for, or maybe just not have a multi-summon in general. Sticking on that topic still with the summons, I wish there was a quicker summon or capsule opening animation. Maybe there was like a skip button where you could just skip, get your reward, boom. That'd be really easy. I don't know if it's gonna be a game pass. If it was to be added, I don't think so, but I definitely could see it being added as just a mechanic to skip animations, because they do take a while. It's like and it shows all the things that you get, and you click, and it's annoying. This is a gacha game, so hey, if you like opening them, it is what it is, and that's what it's all about. Besides that, I wish you could convert the old items and shards for rewards, because if you've seen my inventory, I have so many older shards and so many older items that we can't use just sitting there. I don't know if it's gonna be like a memorabilia thing where you just have it just because it was from the older updates and it's unobtainable now, or maybe they could be used in the future, because there's definitely more parts that could be added to more updates of animes, just because one update of an anime doesn't really like personify what the anime really is. If there isn't gonna be anything like that, I wish there was a way to convert the items either to gems, gold, event tokens, since those were added, and maybe fruits and other things, because a lot of people do have a ton of those, especially if you macro. And now from part 2, I really wish this gets added. I really do pray, which is the time to game speed. There's an in-game feature where you could vote on if you want ×2 speed with other players or by yourself, and things just go by quicker. Most tower defense games have this already, and I wish they do add it soon enough. But if they want to make it to where you actually have to sit there and just admire your towers killing the enemies and strategize, even though there's not really much strategy at this point, with all these units doing so much damage, and I guess they could keep it the same way. But ×2 game speed is what a lot of people would like. After that, I wish there was better leaderboard rewards. Even though I'm not on the leaderboards, I do kind of like give sympathy to those who are on the leaderboard, just because these units, honestly, I don't really think they're that good, right? I don't think these units are actually that good. I'm pretty sure they're just event limited times, unobtainable units you can only get from the leaderboards, but they're not really that useful. So if you're gonna add a unit that's not really too great, at least give like maybe gems, fruit, foods, capsules, or anything related to the update, so they can have some sort of reward that's actually more usable. If I am wrong about this, like how the rewards are given or how useful the units are, definitely leave it in the comments below. One of the more simpler ones that I do want is codes that give more than just gems, more rewards. Maybe a code that gives remnants, maybe a code that gives fruits, or maybe a code that gives one capsule opening for the update, just because gems are honestly at this point are really easy to get. So maybe switch it up a little bit and give different rewards like remnant, because remnants are really hard to get for free to play players. Nitpick here is maybe auto upgrade button for units, because I've seen tower defense games where there's like an auto upgrade button where you can click on a unit and all your money will go to that unit fully upgraded first. So that could be a reason for this to get added, but besides that, it's just kind of like a nitpick. So yeah, it's just a cool mechanic that you might want to add to the game. Most likely not though. Kind of sticking on that same topic of in-game mechanic, maybe give money or upgrade other player units. So you could probably give extra money to players so they could upgrade their units, or you could use their money to upgrade other people's units. Although I don't think the second one, if it was going to be added, I don't think it would be added, because some events and story modes want you to have units that are not fully upgraded, because their upgraded version before that may be better in terms of SPA or damage. So yeah, I don't think that part's going to be added, but maybe giving money to other players when you're rich and full, or you want to like strategize how to beat something more easily with somebody having a carry unit, that'd be a pretty good idea. This one's just for me. Remove unit animations, because every time I do a macro, I know, do a macro, it gets in my face, and like Miriam's just flying all over the place, and I can't see absolutely anything. That's just me. My macro still works, but maybe you could just have them stand still and attack. Although it might not be great, at least it'll probably lower, the lag. Speaking on the same situation of disabling things, maybe a skin disable button. So if you really don't know, if you have special units units, they will give your character kind of like this skin, which honestly is really cool. But if you're using let's say Keyscape first, you're gonna have this big freaking circular thing on your back with Spider-Man claws from you know, his Bankai, and it's really massive, so you can't see anything. But that might just be me, you know, maybe just put him on a different slot so you don't have that. But it'd be, I guess that's just a nitpick, I guess. That's just a nitpick idea. Another one is most likely going to be kept, which is missions being kept forever. So if you've already seen in the game, there's missions for the event where you go inside like different you know, challenges, story mode, etc. You beat them and you get this event token type thing, where you could spend it, of course, on the event shop. So maybe they could keep that, and then, you know, if there isn't like a special event added, you could maybe just have it straightly prioritized on maybe giving fruit, remnants, something like that would be really useful. Or maybe some sort of other mechanic that's similar to missions, but just for plain gameplay besides, you know, the event. The other one is a vote kick button, because I've seen a lot of people in my games just stand there, sitting there, literally doing absolutely nothing, or maybe like just they're loading in forever, and it's just ruining my gameplay. It's just ruining it. I know I'm crying about it, but you know, it's ruining it. But yeah, this might just be me. I've seen some other people complain about it, but I don't think this will be added. Actually, vote kicking might be a troll, because they could vote kick the same person. This one's one of the more unique ones that I thought of. Maybe a in-game wheel roulette. So we've already seen you know, the daily rewards. Maybe Nami, for example. Nami could have like a roulette where every hour or every day you could spin it with gems or gold or free spin, and you could get prizes like capsules, you know, remnants, gems, fruits, player EP, maybe a random mythic. Spice it up a little bit so more players have something to do in the game instead of just doing story mode all over again, over and over and over again. Besides that, I have a loadout mechanic, which is team boost. For example, maybe if you have a full fairy tale team, it gains extra damage towards fairy tale units. That'd be a pretty cool idea, although this might be like some sort of like challenge type deal, or maybe a raid type deal where you can only have certain units where that are related to the anime to actually use it in the raid. That would be pretty sick. I didn't think of that right now, but maybe something like that. But team boost would also be really nice. It's not going to be overpowered because it may just, you know, stick towards the anime it's in, so it's not like fully broken, doing extra damage to other anime units or other anime enemies. Now moving on to traits. So I have 4 different trait ideas. I know this is all over the place, but that's what I did do. You know, it's just random. So let's get started with the first one, which I named the overtime trait. So this is a legendary tier trait which deals extra DOT damage duration. So DOT, if you already don't know, damage over time, and for example, that includes maybe fire damage, bleed damage, or maybe in the future poison damage, anything like that. It'll just have more duration, so it could you know, focus on units with that type of attack, like a Kainu. That'll be really useful for events like the one currently, the fairy tale one, would be really good to kill the ice unit. So that's an idea right there. Another one is the countless trait. A countless trait is a mythic tier, and this trait is going to be able to place extra units, maybe 1 unit or 2 unit, depending on what type it is. Probably going to be 1 unit if it was added, just because 2 units would be overpowered. Even 1 unit itself would be overpowered. That's why I put it in mythic. Maybe they're going to add a different tier if they do add this. You know, it's more different than the ones that we have right now. It's kind of like the opposite of unique. The other one is the rich trait. We've already got the gold trait, but the rich trait is more towards their actual cost. So it's a legendary tier which reduces the cost for upgrade and placeability. So, you know, maybe let's say Miriam 1300. Let's lower that down with the rich trait to 1000, and the next upgrade is 1500, just because it makes these guys easier to place down, but it doesn't make them overpowered just because the damage or SPA or range isn't getting increased or decreased. And then finally, I had to really think of a name for this one, so I just put swell, something that could expand. Expansion, that's a good trait, expansion trait. But basically, it's a legendary tier trait that increases the unit AoE size. If the sniper and range doesn't already increase the AoE size, then this would be a pretty good addition. But if they already do, but since I don't know if they do, then that's my bad. Next up, that's gonna be geared towards the events. So maybe they could add, similar to AOT, not AOT, ASTD, event mounts. You know, event mounts. Maybe you could ride Stark's coyotes. That'd be honestly a really sick idea. Or maybe you could ride, what is it, the fairy tale one. You could ride the cat. I don't think the cat's gonna carry you up, but it's a game. It's a game. Who cares? Let the cat suffer. Who cares? The other one is event emote. You know, something to add on. Maybe you want to like taunt the people that you're playing with. I don't know, like do an L on them when they lose the game. Maybe if the PvP's added, you could emote and just like Fortnite and like loop, like throw an L on them when they're losing. I don't know. Anything that could be added to more items that could be, you know, purchased in the event shops would just make it better. Just because we just have event materials and keys and foods, which isn't really too captivating. The other one is event units. You know, we've already seen event, what is it, materials, but we haven't really seen units that are added actually inside the event shop. So maybe it takes 1,000 tokens to get this special limited time unit to get from the shop. That might not be that great, or maybe great, but it's just limited time. Could be used for trading. Some sort of mechanic like that. Moving away from the event stuff, maybe they could add a secret banner unit, because honestly, Lelouch is alone. Lelouch is alone by himself in the banner, you know, secretly just standing there waiting for nobody to get him. So maybe we could add another unit that's secret to the banner, that's really broken to an anime, but has like a barely 1% chance to get pulled in the banner. Yeah, just add a buddy for Lelouch. Another one is maybe a unit that's usable by players. For example, if we add Six Paths Naruto, he could summon Kurama, and you could control Kurama to shoot beast bombs. You know, I'm getting crazy with these ideas, but that's what it's all about, right? But I don't think it's gonna be on that scale, but a similar idea to where something gets summoned, maybe like HDDs like Kakashi summons Susanoo, and then he throws shurikens. And now moving on to the enemies, anti-stun enemies, we want to make the game more tactical, more strategic. That's what a tower defense game is all about. So units that would be tougher to kill are gonna make the game more frustrating, but you're gonna have to use your brain instead of just placing one unit down and it just kills everything. So anti-stun enemies could go through effects like freeze, time stop, and slow, and it just keeps on going. Alright, just keeps on going. You have to kill it normally, and then boom. The other one is a hybrid enemy. So a hybrid enemy is a unit that switches from ground to air, and then ground to air, ground to air, ground to air. Like it switches temporarily, so one type of unit won't be able to hit it unless it's a hybrid, and then the other type of unit will be able to hit it if it's that type. Enemies like this would make the game so much harder, but honestly so much more, you know, thoughtful. The other type of enemy could be anti-elemental unit. So it removes the buffs from enemies, or it doesn't take more damage from like burn or bleed. It'll just be insanely tanky. Now into a little bit more nitpick, kind of like the last area, but player titles. If you play the game for too long, for example, you get the title No Life. I probably have that by now, but honestly, I don't really play the game. I'm accurate, but that's the point. So titles, just a cool way to flex off what you have. And the other one is a capsule challenge. This will never be added. I don't think so, but maybe when an event is out, there's like a specified capsule that you could get in challenges, since the gold one is useless, and the other ones are pretty okay, but nothing too special. So spice up the challenges a little more. And then finally, I saw this in Anime Story, so I was like, why not add it to this game, which is some sort of weekend buff. So maybe a ×2 challenge drop buff, or ×2 player EXP buff, something that'll make more players play the game in the weekend. You know, you'll gain a lot more players doing this way, although the fluctuation of the amount of, you know, progress people will make is gonna be a ton, but that's because they're playing the game. But that's just some of my ideas. Definitely leave your ideas in the comments below. That's my 30 future update ideas for the game. I don't think it's gonna be seen. I don't really care. It's just my thoughts. But besides that, yeah, I need to go do homework like always.